Have you ever wondered how a structure built more than 4,000 years ago still stands tall, challenging even today's skyscrapers? Have you thought about why thousands of people from around the world still travel to Egypt just to stand in front of these massive monuments in awe? And have you ever asked yourself how it was possible to build something so huge and precise at a time with no cranes, no computers, and not even advanced industrial wheels? The pyramids of Egypt are not just piles of stone placed together, but symbols of power, faith, and human genius. These structures rise in the heart of the Giza Desert and have captured human attention for thousands of years. They remind us that ancient civilizations were far more advanced and astonishing than we often imagine. Put simply, the pyramids were giant tombs for the pharaohs, kings who were seen as gods on earth. For the ancient Egyptians, death was not the end of life, but the beginning of an eternal journey. They believed the pharaoh must step into the afterlife with all his glory and wealth. This belief was the driving force behind one of the greatest projects in human history. The story of the pyramids begins around 2600 BC, when a king named Djoser ordered the construction of the first step pyramid. Built at Saqqara, this pyramid marked the start of an architectural revolution. Before that, kings were buried in mastabas, low rectangular tombs. But Djoser and his brilliant architect Imhotep chose to build something different, a tomb that rose step by step toward the sky. This change opened the path that would later lead to the Grand Pyramids of Giza. However, the true peak came during the 4th dynasty, when Pharaoh Khufu, whose name is forever tied to the Great Pyramid, took the stage. The Great Pyramid of Khufu in Giza, originally 146 meters high, was the tallest man-made structure on Earth for over 3,800 years. Imagine this: about 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing on average 2.5 tons, were placed with such precision that even modern engineers still see it as a mystery. We still don't fully know how these blocks were transported from distant quarries and stacked so flawlessly. Some theories suggest massive ramps, while others talk about ingenious lifting methods. The full truth remains hidden. At the same time, the work was not just about moving stones. The corridors, chambers, and passageways inside the pyramid were designed with incredible accuracy. For example, the air shafts of the Great Pyramid are almost perfectly aligned with specific stars. This means the pyramid's architecture was not only about engineering, but also astronomy. For a people who saw the night sky as the map of destiny, these alignments had powerful meaning. But the story didn't end there. After Khufu, his son Khafre and grandson Menkore built their own pyramids beside his, creating the famous trio of Giza. Alongside the massive Sphinx, this complex became an eternal symbol of ancient Egypt. These monuments were more than tombs. They were political and religious statements, a declaration of the pharaoh's absolute power and the people's faith in life after death. Still, the pyramids also came with challenges. Building them required a massive workforce. Contrary to the myths about tortured slaves, evidence shows that most workers were farmers who helped during the off-season and were paid in food, clothing, and shelter. Even so, their lives were far from easy. Some skeletons show severe injuries from the hard labor. On top of that, the enormous costs of construction put pressure on the country's economy and resources. Yet, the impact of the pyramids on humanity is undeniable. They were, in a sense, the first mega projects of history, something like today's space programs. Imagine organizing millions of massive stones into a structure without modern machines. It required coordination, planning, and engineering on a level that changed how humans approached construction. This experience laid foundations for the growth of architecture and engineering in later civilizations. Even today, architects and engineers look to the pyramids for inspiration. In our modern world, the pyramids are still present in many ways. Every year, millions of tourists travel to Egypt to see them, making tourism a vital part of Egypt's economy. In popular culture, they appear in movies, video games, and even advertisements, always carrying that same aura of mystery and grandeur. At the same time, scientific research on the pyramids has advanced technologies like 3D imaging and laser scanning, since scientists want to uncover the internal structure of these monuments without damaging them. The pyramids of Egypt are both a symbol of past glory and a puzzle for the future. They show us that humanity, even in the toughest conditions, can turn impossible dreams into reality. But they also leave us with a bigger question. If humans could build such wonders 4,000 years ago, what can we create today with all our modern technology that will last for future generations? Maybe the answer to that question is exactly what's worth thinking about, and even worth sharing in the comments.